All right, we're live. All right. So, um, first of all, I posted the pictures from last night's dinner. I forgot to post probably the most important picture, which was, I forgot to take a picture of it, was the salad we got. We got this avocado and crab salad with asparagus. We used the blue cheese vinaigrette. I'm sorry, we used the blue cheese instead of the vinaigrette. Dude, one of the best salads I've ever had in my life. We went to this place called Liam's in Dallas. It's apparently new. The steaks were fantastic. They had this thing called a dinosaur rib, which is basically a rib from a buffalo. The thing was huge. It was amazing. It was like a brisket ribbed. It was spectacular. And then we came home and we had a Viking waffle. I had some, pecan pie. I had some blueberry cheesecake because they're my favorites for dessert. So it was spectacular. Really, really good. If you guys are in Dallas, check out Liam's. It was very, very worth it. I thought the steaks were very well priced, delicious. And the guy who waited on us, Kevin, did a great job. So definitely check it out. Check those pictures out. All right. So the next two we're going to talk about are both very important. One you guys are going to recognize, the other one you might not. So Superior B, which is this one, that one's super important. So when we talk about metabolic issues and genetic issues, one of the things that you guys should be familiar with by now is what's called an MTHFR deletion. It means that your body doesn't methylate B vitamins very well. One of the biggest ones that doesn't methylate is folic acid, which is extremely critical for brain function and a lot of other things. So everybody focuses on folic acid, and I'm not saying they shouldn't, but folic acid's a big one. The other issue is that you've got to make sure you're getting your methylated B6 in. So when we look at these things, we want it to be the P5P for B6, which is the pyridoxal 5-phosphate. But you really want to get the methylated B vitamins all the way across the board. The Superior B on the Pillars of Wellness website is fully methylated all the way across the board. You can take it, your kids can take it, everybody can take it. I take 2 capsules a day, one at about 7, one at about 2:30-ish. But it has methylated folic acid in it, which is the L-methyl tetrahydrofolate. It's got the B6, the methylated B6. It's got methylated B2. So folic acid is really important for people who are getting pregnant, people who are trying to conceive a child, people who have neurodegenerative diseases. So one of the big things we use for concussions, for dementia, for Alzheimer's, for everything is this B vitamin, because we got to get all of those methylated folic acid molecules into the brain to help it heal, regenerate, and repair. Folic acid is the reason that the neural tube forms when you're pregnant. So if those of you who are thinking about getting pregnant or maybe are pregnant, you guys are going to have to really, really focus on getting your methylated folic acid in before you get pregnant, and keep those levels high. So B2 and B6 are really important for sleep, but B6 is especially important if you're going to be doing a fat oxidizing diet. And the reason for that is that B6 helps your bile salts stay in suspension. So a lot of you have heard this before, but I'll run through this real quick. Gallstones are not real. They're not really a thing. This is my ring. This is my hand. This is my ring in my hand. It's not a hand ring. So the big issue we're getting into is that you have to understand that the gallbladder is a bag. It just holds things. It's not going to have anything you don't want in it unless you put something you don't want in it. It's a bag. So what happens is that the way we get gallstones, which are really liver stones, is that we lose methylated B6. The bile salts that are in suspension in the liver, designed to dissolve and emulsify fats, fall out of suspension. So they go from this really, really slick, really oily WD-40 consistency into this like axle grease or rubber cement type of consistency. And that's what a gallstone is. And so you have all these liver stones that are really small. They get pushed through the liver tubules into the gallbladder, and then they get squished into larger balls. And that's where we find them. And that's why we call them gallstones. The reason it's important to recognize they're not gallstones, they're liver stones, is because if you cut the gallbladder out and go, I fixed the problem. No, you didn't. You still have the problem in the liver. You need the methylated B6 to dissolve and uncongeal those bile salts. So you'll emulsify fats properly. So you have proper liver function, proper liver health. So it's really, really important that you get those in. And like I said, a lot of people are familiar with the MTHFR deletion, and we should be, because that means your body won't methylate B vitamins. So it won't turn normal food into methylated B vitamins. However, if you're really stressed out, which is 90% of America, you're also not going to methylate really well. And so the solution to both problems is take a methylated B vitamin. It's pretty simple. So the Superior B is fully methylated all the way through. Get that one. The B2, the B6 will really help you sleep and help your body function, whole 9 yards. So if you're looking for a B for you, the family, whatever, make sure it's fully methylated all the way through. You can grab the B, the Superior B. There's a couple other groups out there that make it, but a lot of companies don't make a fully methylated B. So be very, very careful with which Bs you're buying if you're taking them, because some of them are either going to do you no good, or if you have MTHFR issues, are going to do you harm. So make sure you're getting a fully methylated B vitamin. The next one is the mineral. So one of the big things that people really lose when we talk about rate limiting steps, or what chemistry do you not have that's affecting your body in a very negative way, the minerals are a big one. So when we talk about testosterone, selenium is a big one. When we talk about iodine, we talk about thyroid function and stuff like that, iodine is the big thing. When we talk about, the thyroid, and it creates T3, and it creates T4. T3 and T4, the difference is 1 iodine. T3 has 3 iodines, T4 has 4 iodines. So guess what you can't make if you don't have enough iodine? You can't make thyroid hormone. So a lot of you people who are thinking like, my thyroid's low, I have thyroid issues. Look at your diet. How much iodine are you bringing in? And by the way, the iodine that's in that white Morton salt doesn't count. It doesn't break off and utilize properly. The other thing is that fluoride, which is in all of our water and most of your toothpaste, block iodine absorption at the thyroid. So yeah, fluoride is a waste product. It is not good for you. There is no functional real study that really kind of shows that it's beneficial for anything. However, it's an industrial waste product, and so it's easily sold because we have a lot of it. So don't buy into the fluoride thing. Get yourself some iodine, get away from the fluoride. That'll help out a lot. Like I said, selenium is really important for testosterone creation. There's a bunch of things that your body needs those ions for. Your heart beats because of the ion flow from calcium and sodium. So you guys need to make sure that you're getting in all of your electrolytes, all of your minerals. And if you don't have a good multi-mineral, I would 100% tell you to go get the mineral from the Pillars of Wellness website. It's really, really important for both you and your kids. The problem we get into with the food we have in this country is that it's very, very, very toxic, and it's very nutrient devoid. And so the problem is that the way our body fights is that when we have more toxins, our body uses a lot more nutrients to push those toxins out of our body. The problem is that then we run low on nutrients, and the food we're eating doesn't have enough nutrients to fill us back up to the very top. So if you're going to live in the United States, unfortunately, you're going to deal with a ton of toxins, a ton of stress, and not a lot of nutrition in your food. So you're going to have to supplement to some degree. Again, most of you aren't going to have to supplement to the degree I do, but that's where we're at. So on the B, I take 1 capsule, basically breakfast and lunch. On the mineral, I take 2 of them 3 times a day. I think 4 is the actual serving size. So I'm a little bit over. If you took 2 morning and 2 night, you guys would be good. If you gave 1 to your kids, if they're 125 pounds or less, 1 morning and night would be perfect. If you can just get 1 of them, that'd be great. It'll help tremendously. Kind of bridge the gap in some of these foods. The big thing that we get into is that when we're talking about how the body's functioning and what the body needs, there's a big issue that we run into with, again, the stress and the toxicity versus the nutrient density that we're getting in. And we're seeing it a lot in our kids. A lot of this ADD, ADHD stuff is decreased function to the adrenals. And when you decrease function to the adrenals, they don't produce norepinephrine and epinephrine very well. And that's what keeps the reticular formation awake. And that's why people have ADD, is because the reticular formation is falling asleep. So getting the adrenals functioning again is going to be really beneficial for ADD, ADHD. And putting the gut back together is super important for a lot of things. One of the things we see is that when we damage the gut with antibiotics or stress or parasites or whatever, we don't produce enough serotonin, because serotonin is made in the gut. And if your gut's messed up and you can't produce serotonin, you're going to have anxiety and depression issues because you're low on serotonin. What are all the drugs that they try to come out with for anxiety and depression based around? Serotonin, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. They keep the serotonin in the cleft. Now, they don't work because for a variety of reasons, because it's more neurochemistry. But when we can get the serotonin levels up, we do feel a lot better. So if you can get your gut healthy, which we're going to talk a little bit about tomorrow, that's going to really help with anxiety, depression, and just overall mood. And when we get the overall mood better, the mind can then direct us to make the body and everything in our world better. So It's super duper important that we get that, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this, is because we're trying to drive awareness for the charity, treeoflife.health. That's going to be the URL. Because what we're using that for is to fix first responders and veterans with PTSD and addiction. We're using psychedelics and ketamine to reset, lift all the neurotransmitters at once and reset the neural pathways and actually end or greatly reduce PTSD within the first 6 to 8 weeks. This isn't one of those deals where it's, for the rest of their life they have to deal with this. It is a very intensive 6 to 8 week treatment protocol. And at the end of it, they're substantially better and they can handle life a lot better. So again, if you have anxiety or depression or PTSD, which a lot of people do, don't think it'd be shot at to have PTSD. You have to have stress or trauma for a decent amount of time. And we all have that, especially if you look at the economy and the world and social media, you've got it. So find some ketamine around you, find somebody to do some mind work and get it knocked out. We've got people, if you guys need us, give us a call and we'll help you out. But send us a question at questions@Chalmers Wellness or drop it in the comments. But you guys need to look into ketamine and psychedelics a lot more. It'll really, really, really help the way your mind works and the way you work around other people. We've had a lot of moms come in who've done it and been like, I am such a better mom to my kids now because my stress is mostly gone. My anger is gone. My buzz, that constant is gone. So it's really, really beneficial. But we'll check out some more stuff tomorrow. See you guys at check-in. Thanks for your time.